Mike Perlak here to talk to you. This will just be YouTube journal entry number 46. First of all, I was having audio trouble with my phone last week. It was a technical thing, but it reminded me that the phone is like going on 7 years old, I think. Something like that. Maybe not quite that, but it turned out it was just a technical thing. Although, while I was doing it, I did, if I'm being honest, I did think about just ixnaying on my YouTube channel. I mean, after all, I'm not making money doing it, and I probably never will make money. But then I was reminded about my currently 175 or 100, actually 176. So I gain a couple of subscribers, I lose one. I gain a couple, I lose one. Good ratio. Anyways, I do feel obligated to the 176 subscribers I have. And because of that, I did something I never did before. I actually posted something in the post section of my YouTube channel, a picture explaining about I had big news about my father. Hint: no, he didn't die. Well, I guess that's a good lead-in. So, my father is in the process of being institutionalized. Initially, I was thinking about reading the legal mumbo jumbo that I got in the mail about a week ago now. About exactly a week ago. But then I decided against that. I'm still processing a lot of the stuff, and it's a lot of technical thing, mental deterioration, not schizophrenia, but schizotypal, a form of schizophrenia, which I'm learning about myself. So I'm still processing that whole part. So I decided for this video to just kind of go over or give an idea of my reaction and to it and everything. So when I found this out, I was actually like relieved. I was actually like a weight that just lifted off me. So I read that thing to my sister and brother-in-law, and my sister's reaction was, she asked questions like, "How or who caught him? Do you think they found out about what he did to us?" These are things my sister said to me. And what she meant by that, what she said, do you think you think they found out what our father, did to us? And when she said that, she meant our abuse, the abuse we sustained by his hand, both physical and mental and emotional, for 6 years when we were children. So that's what my sister meant when she said, "Do you think they found out about what he did to us?" See, because my sister is still thinking that there's somebody out there going to save her. So I had to give my sister a little bit of dose of reality and tell her nobody cares, really. Nobody cares because of the events a couple years, 4 or 5 years ago now, with Kyle Rittenhouse in Kenosha. Because of those events, with the rioting and the courthouse burning and all that, the pictures of me naked when I was 10 years old, my body covered in bruises that they took as evidence to take custody of us away from my father, it's probably all burned up in that riot with Kyle Rittenhouse. So I told her, nobody cares. I told her, no, nobody caught him. He's like, "Who caught him?" My sister was like, who? How did they find out? Who caught them? My sister said. I had to tell her, nobody caught him. He turned himself in by acting up. By going on, "They stole my apartment, they stole my money, they stole my dog." I had to explain to my sister how it worked. It's called disturbing the peace. That's how it starts. The cops are called, and then the cops go, this guy isn't right. And then the doctors are called. And then here we are. My father honestly believes that his family, his sisters, stole millions of dollars from him that he was supposed to get when his parents died. He doesn't understand that mommy and daddy had nothing. And the little bit they did have, they blew. Specifically, my grandmother blew her retirement savings on him. So he did not have to do time for the federal crime of which he was convicted of child abuse. He thinks he didn't have to do the time for that crime for free. I guess that's how it works in his mind. He thinks that didn't cost his mother anything. Cost her retirement savings. That's what it cost her. Oh, God, I didn't want this to be too long, but I guess I got a lot to say. I know how my father is. I had to live with him. I had to, minus 4 or 5 years after the initial custody taken away. Us taken away from him when we allowed him back into our lives because of boredom and humor. He always provided humor, thanks to me. But I know how he is. My father, he tells one person this, he tells another person that, because in his schizotypo mind, I guess that's the word for it then, in his mind, he's being clever. And the result will be him getting his way, him getting what he wants. That only leads to dysfunctionality. And I would argue that that's how the criminal cartels and the criminal elements in this world think as well. That's why I'm thankful to President Trump that we're becoming a nation of laws again. Anyways, this was long overdue. It's a weight lifted off of me. At least I don't have to worry about the boy being homeless. Not that I'm willing to do anything about it. But this was always an issue, more or less. His mental incapacity. That's what the original word in the court papers from when we were kids, which I'll probably add this paperwork to now as the final, But mentally incapacitated was how he was described by the courts back when custody was removed from him, custody of me and my sisters. So it was always an issue. This mental problem is. It's just more obvious now because he's old and nobody is willing or able to wipe his butt for him. So now, mommy state and daddy state will take care of him for the rest of his natural life. When I was thinking about this stuff personally, as I go throughout my day, it could not have. I can't see it taking very long for the people in charge, at this medical place, and the authorities and everything to go, oh yeah, this guy is just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like me, no worries for me. I'm just happy just knowing now that there are now legal proceedings going on to assume accountability for the boy, and it ain't gonna be me. He told us he told me and my sisters, and this is on audio tape, because I record a lot. I recorded a lot. That's how I dealt with stuff, I guess. But he told us on tape once, because I don't think he even knew I was recording anyways. But he told me and my sisters, and he honestly believes this, that it is our fault, me and my sister's fault, that he has to steal, quote, steal to get money. Making returns. That's what he called it. But it's our fault, me and my sister's fault, because, quote, we screwed him up with that felony. Those good-paying factory jobs won't hire me. And that's all that computes in his brain. That's all that computes in his brain, because he was convicted of child abuse, because me and my sisters, wouldn't keep our mouth shut about what was going on behind closed doors when we were children with that flunking loser. But there were always people early on, at least, willing to cater to him, willing to bend over backwards for him. Well, I'm not doing it. I remember far back when I was 8, 9-year-old kid, the arguments. I think I mentioned this. Yeah, I've mentioned this on YouTube before, but the arguments amongst the adults in my life when I was 8, 9 years old. We would have to drive an hour and 45 minutes every Saturday to visit my grandparents, his mother and father. And the arguments were always about my father's frustration that his wife left him and he's divorced, and all these women today are crazy. They're all concerned about age, because this was the 1980s. And, of course, what moron would be concerned about age? I think male or female, anybody who take one look at my father and would be concerned with AIDS. But a common argument amongst the adults in my life would be my father complaining to his mother about this. And my grandfather, he was a European immigrant, and he just worked, and he gave the money to my grandmother, and she dictated the house finances. But my grandfather would get frustrated with all this. And come there, like, I'm tired of this. Every time he comes to this house, it's woman this, woman that, woman this. And Mama gets him everything he wanted. He wanted God. Mama get it for him. He want house in the country. Mama buy it for him. Now he wants woman. Mama, go get him a woman. And we laugh about this as time went on, but this was a legitimate, ongoing frickin' argument amongst the adults in my life when I was a stupid 8, 9-year-old kid. Many years later, a now deceased aunt of mine, his twin sister actually, would make a comment that's always stuck in my mind in regards to my father. She said, and I quote, "He always did seem like he was on cloud 9." That's a direct quote from my deceased aunt, my father's twin sister. If you want to talk about silver linings, I used to say that, at least we got one good thing from our father, a love of music, and that's actually not accurate. I'd say more appreciation of music, only because he liked the Beatles and stuff. But years later, he would say stuff that would even contradict that, my assumption that we got our love of music from him. He would say stuff like, I hate Motown. I figured this out recently. I think that's why he liked Billy Preston so much, because in his, again, schizo-typal mind, Billy Preston would confirm his ideology about, segregation and Motown music is the devil. But I don't have to deal with that anymore. He's in an institution, and that's that. I don't have to deal with his hatred for Jewish people. I don't have to deal with his bigotry for black people. I don't have to deal with his BS ideology, his BS logic, the blacks go to the fair. It should be like when I was a kid. The blacks go to the fair on Monday. The Italian people go to the fair on Wednesday, and et cetera, et cetera. I don't have to listen to that BS anymore. Speaking of music, I just recently learned of a term, prog rock, or I guess it's supposed to be like the stuff Paul McCartney was doing in the early 70s before Wings. Like junkyard stuff. That song is actually featured on the Jerry Maguire soundtrack. But I'm getting off topic now. So I told my sister, we'll wait till next spring or summer. Wait till he gets situated in his new life now. And then I'll contact whoever's in charge over there and ask, is this guy allowed visitors? But I got to tell my sister, brace yourself, because they may tell me, oh, no. We keep that boy in the basement. he responds to every question or every inquiry. He only responds with "Bubba Gubba Goo." It's like those cartoons from childhood, from like Looney Tunes. Like, I'm only 3.5 years old. Bubba Gubba Goo. Bubba Gubba Goo. Anyways, he used to keep an 8x10 picture of himself when he was 18 years old on top of the TV when we were kids. Back then, a TV was like a piece of furniture. You kids don't know about that that might be watching this. And he used to always say to me and my sisters, "I still look like that, don't I?" "Yeah, sure, Dad. Whatever keeps you in a good mood so you don't punch and kick us." But he's been institutionalized, so a nagging confirmation or a nagging thought of mine since I was a child. Yeah, there's something wrong with this guy. Even when I was a kid. Hey, JFK was nothing like his father, Joe Kennedy. Here's a picture of me and my sister when we were babies, and years later we would say that I'm saying to my sister, "I know we've only been alive a few years, but I think there might be something wrong with the one we're supposed to call Dad." And my sister saying, "You see it too, huh?" My mother told me once that when he asked her to marry him, he was crying. When she was a young woman, probably just a young woman, just worried about being alone all her life herself, probably. She said the impression she got was, "Will you marry me? Nobody else will you?" Anyways, I know I rant and rave about the things that I don't have in life that I want. But you know what? Whatever comes my way, I'm content. I have God. And, yeah, I'd just be happy if I live long enough to see mankind, or humankind, put a rocket with a big old drill and get it up there to Europa, one of the moons of Saturn, either Jupiter or Saturn, but it's a moon out there that's got an icy surface, and there's speculation that there's liquid water and life underneath. Now, if I could live long enough to see that, that would be like the lunar landing for my mom when she was a young woman. But it used to be thought by the science geniuses of the world that photosynthesis, sunlight, was mandatory for the creation of life. Until we started discovering all this self-fluorescent life flourishing deep in the ocean right here on Earth that never sees the light of day, but is somehow naturally born, able to give off its own light. So that kind of put that whole photosynthesis theory as a necessity to life to bed. But I'd just be happy if I live long enough to see that rocket and drill making it to Europa, to drill through the icy surface to the liquid water underneath and see if there's life down there. That'd be a worthwhile thing for humanity. But then, remember Apollo 13? That was the real life event the movie Apollo 13 is based on. Could that happen again? Could humanity come together like that? Have the science, the math, and all that, And now it's all AI, and I don't know. I don't know. So anyways, as long as I can, I will continue to make videos. If I ever do disappear, it'll probably be for a technical reason. Anyways, Mike Perlak, thank you for your time.